Hello, this is Peter Towers. Welcome to this ESS Small Business webinar. Today's subject is insurance for small medium enterprises. I'm going to be joined today by Darren Milne, CEO of Milne Alexander, and Andrew Grogan, the account manager for Milne Alexander. Good afternoon, Darren and Andrew. How are you?
Yes, very well. Thank you, Peter, and welcome to everybody attending.
Thank you. Okay, we'll just do a brief introduction on insurance for SMEs. Every business needs a properly constructed insurance portfolio. As an accountant over the years, I've come across quite a number of small, medium enterprises that probably hadn't given as much attention as what they should have to their insurance needs. And Darren and Andrew are going to talk to us about that today. Obviously, as a business, you need to clearly identify your business risks. So if you know of any peculiarities affecting your business, please make sure that your insurance broker knows about them so that he or she can advise on the risk for your business. And obviously, you need to clearly identify what you need to insure. So there's some of the background items that obviously apply to insurance, but I'm sure Darren and Andrew are going to be able to tell us a whole lot more today on insurance for SMEs. So I'm just going to pass the presenter across to Darren and Andrew, who will take over and make their presentation. So good afternoon, Darren and Andrew. It's over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and welcome to everyone, and thank you for the introduction. My name is Darren Milne. I am the CEO of Milne Alexander, and I'm joined today by Andrew Grogan to present on the subject of small to medium enterprise and insurance for that. Andrew's been a long-term employee here at Milne Alexander, having been with us for 7 years, and is a very capable young insurance broker. Just before I begin, I would like to ask you all one question. Could your business afford to wear a loss where you have either inadequate insurance protection or no insurance protection at all? I would imagine to the majority of people, the answer to that question would be no. Most companies cannot afford such losses to their cash flow, let alone the time taken to go through and defend and the inevitable distractions that occur. Today, I would like to give you, along with Andrew, a very basic understanding of the main types of insurance for the SME business. Small business owners usually invest their own personal finances into starting their business, and that's why it's critically important for small business to have the correct insurance. Business insurance can be quite complicated and confusing depending on the type of industry that you may work in. We all hear the multitude of advertising, especially on the TV, radio, and more recently in the social media network. As an insurance broker, we recommend talking to either ourselves or your local insurance broker, dependent upon where you are located. One fact that I would like to mention is that by using an insurance broker, it is proven that we get better results in your claims. This is mainly due to the fact that we ensure you, as the policyholder, are obtaining the correct benefits payable when a claim arises. Milne Alexander has clients across the country with presence, our head office in Sydney. We have a branch office in South Australia and very soon to be located in Melbourne. Insurance companies are generally not required to give you advice, and as such may leave you stranded when a claim occurs if you have not been correctly advised. This is where an insurance broker fits in. Many insurers that we deal with as Milne Alexander deal with a variety of policies that cover exposures for business owners and have designed policies to suit certain industries and occupations. Different types of businesses may require specific policies to protect them from specific industry exposures. So it's important that you understand what type of insurance you need for your business. As an example, a plumber operating a home-based business with one employee will have very different needs to an accountant working from a corporate office with 10 plus employees. Today, Andrew and I are going to cover some basic facts about the most common types of insurances purchased by small business owners and those classes of insurance that are searched on Google the most. I'm going to hand over to Andrew now to go through public liability.
Thank you, Darren. Australia is becoming one of the most litigious countries in the world. We're not quite up there yet with the United States, but honestly, we're not that far behind. The frequency of public liability claims in Australia is increasing every year. Even if you don't leave your office, you still need to have this insurance. Anyone coming and going in your office is a risk to your business, and I can't stress enough how important it is to have the protection in place for your business. You generally buy public liability along with products liability as they become a package with the insurers. The common limits of cover are either 5 million, 10 million or 20 million. 20 million probably is the most common these days because it is usually a requirement of your lease to rent a premises, or if you want to become a contractor to another company. And usually they will require you to have $20 million. Public liability insurance is critical to every business. If you cause property damage or personal injury to another person, you could face legal action for these damages. In today's business environment, without public liability insurance, the threat of these actions can potentially bankrupt businesses. A simple claim could be a tree branch that falls on a customer's car in your car park, or a more complex claim could be a contractor injured on your premises by one of your employees. Either example shows how easy you can cause property damage or injury to another person. The litigation process in today's world is extremely costly, and even if you think you're not at fault, or even if you aren't at fault, the cost to go from someone making a claim against you to becoming successful in defending that claim is a very costly procedure, and the public liability insurance policy will cover those defence costs.
Okay, it's Darren back again. Thank you, Andrew. I thought I would share a claim example that happened recently to one of our small business clients. We have an importer of furniture who imported sun loungers, wooden sun loungers, and they have like a hump in the middle of them to put your legs up next to, and a lady came into a shop, to a retail shop, put her hand on the chair, sat on the chair, and it chopped some of her finger off. And whilst realistically it's not our client's fault as such, the litigation costs and the damages that ended up going to this lady was somewhere in the vicinity of $500,000 to $600,000. And that's an example where without public liability, and the insurers, they pay the best. They pay the best lawyers, they have the best defence, and it still costs $500,000, $600,000. Thanks, Andrew.
So that's public liability. We'll move now on to workers' compensation, which obviously is another major insurance for small business. An important fact about workers' compensation, which not a lot of business owners realise, is it is governed by different legislation in each state. If you will be operating a business where you have staff that are based in other states, you must obtain a policy in each state. If you're operating a business here in New South Wales, in Sydney, and you then decide to open an office in Melbourne where there are staff living in Melbourne, you then have to have a policy for your New South Wales business, and then also a policy for your Victorian business as well. The New South Wales policy will not cover anything to do with a Victorian-based staff member. It's very common where people seem to think one workers' compensation policy will cover Australia-wide. It is not the case, and it's extremely important because it is a compulsory insurance in all states. In some states, work cover will set an industry rate. So here in New South Wales, there is Work Cover New South Wales. Work Cover New South Wales sets the rates for the industry that the business is in, and the insurers will manage that policy on behalf of Work Cover New South Wales. So what that means is even if you change between insurers, between Allianz or QB, for example, the premiums will remain the same. You can be fined if you do not have a workers' compensation policy in most circumstances. There are obviously circumstances where fines will not be applied, but they are very few and very far between. And another thing, all businesses, regardless of their size, are bound by work health and safety laws. And part of the work health safety is you must have a workers' compensation policy protecting your workers. The effects of claims under workers' compensation can be quite significant on your premium. Maintaining a safe workplace and having an up-to-date return to work program, which will get the workers back to their normal duties prior to the accident, it can save you premiums considerably. And that's something as insurance brokers that we can assist with in setting up and advising on to reduce premiums where applicable. As I mentioned, workers' compensation is a compulsory insurance that all employers must take out for their workers. The definition of a worker varies slightly for in each state. However, generally workers include anyone receiving a wage or commission from your business, including casual employees, temporary employees, and in some cases even contractors. So that's fine. Moving over to professional indemnity. Now, one of the common things we hear as an insurance broker is people confusing public liability and professional indemnity. It's very important to note that this is not the same in any way as public liability. It is designed to cover your professional duty and services. More often than not, it's not an off-the-shelf insurance product that you can buy online, and it is extremely important to be aware of the small print. The professional indemnity policy will have a lot of exclusions, and especially if you're changing between two insurers, the exclusions can change dramatically. So it's very important to make sure that if you are changing insurers between your professional indemnity insurers, look at what exclusions are applying, because the exclusions can change the policy in ways you wouldn't even understand. It is highly recommended that you get advice from an insurance professional before purchasing this insurance. Because as I said, it is extremely rare that any two insurers will offer the exactly same cover, terms and conditions.
Okay, thanks Andrew. I thought I'd sort of share, a very common claim, and it can happen from either accountants or bookkeepers. And accountants have an obligation and a duty to their customers to advise them correctly, I would say generally from a taxation point of view. In the event that the accountant gives incorrect advice, incorrect structuring advice, tells the client to go from A to B to C to D and changes things around, he can become legally liable to pay for any financial loss that happens to his client. It does happen. I've seen it happen, and it's just very, very important. And with most insurance, as Andrew was saying before, there are specific exclusions that apply to various policies, and accountants need to be very careful because they do apply certain restrictions and exclusions to cover that will prevent certain claims being paid.
So there are three main types of insurance policies that we are asked about from small business companies. So just a few more facts about insurance and what
I might do now, sorry Andrew, is to just go through and we're not going to go into too much detail as far as to the types or to what these insurance policies cover. But the other main classes are obviously fire, burglary, business interruption, money, glass. We've gone through public liability. And in a lot of cases now, most businesses require what they call a management liability, which is like covering the directors and or officers of a business in the event that they make honest mistakes. More recently, there's a new product recently been released, which is known as cyber protection insurance. And in the event that your computer system gets hacked, you can buy insurance protection for that. Milne Alexander is a victim of a cyber attack, and I very well know the costs involved in trying to obtain and get your data back to where it was. So I thought I'll hand that back to Andrew. Sorry to interrupt, mate.
That's all right. Just quickly, something on the duty disclosure and the duty disclosure that you as an insurance consumer has to the insurance company. Every insurer will want to know these questions in relation to yourself and your business. Have you ever had insurance declined or cancelled before? The insurer will ask that question because they want to know what your insurance history is like. If you have ever had a policy decline, usually there is a reason behind it, and the insurer would like to know that prior to offering insurance to you again just the details surrounding that. Have you ever been declared bankrupt? Again, it's just to find out about your history and find any details that they need to know there. Have you ever had a claim before? This is so they can correctly rate the new policy that they will be providing to you. And is there any exceptional circumstances relating to these risks that may affect the insurer's decision to offer you cover? If these questions aren't answered correctly, it can affect how a claim is paid at a later date.
Or if a claim is paid at all.
Correct. They just need to know more about you and evaluate the risk, and it's our role as an insurance broker to represent the insurer and negotiate on your behalf. That's what we do. More information equals less perceived risks. Obviously, the insurer is providing cover to your business without actually meeting with you yourself. So, as insurance brokers, we will obtain as much information as possible. The more information that we can obtain and provide to the insurer, the better idea that the insurance company will have on your business. So, some of the common factors that they'll need to know is the nature and location of your business, the size of your business, your claims history, sections of cover that you nominate, and how much you want to nominate to insure for. So this is determined to used to determine the level of risk an insurer will be exposed to offering insurance against your risks. So just a little bit about insurance brokers in case no one has used one before. Insurance brokers, the top 5 reasons that people use insurance brokers are it can save time. A lot of people have their hands very well on their business. They don't have time to worry about the paperwork and finding and researching all the different types of insurance that the business may need. An insurance broker will do all that for you and come back with a proposal to sit down and discuss with you with recommendations and the options available, and then together with yourself as the business owner, come up with a decision on how you want to move forward. There is definitely peace of mind knowing that the broker provides maybe with correct insurance and advice. Here at Milne Alexander, we really pride ourselves on the relationships that we build with our clients and the trust that we build with our clients as well. So something that really helps with Milne Alexander clients is that they know that the advice that we give is good advice, but it's also trusted advice as well. And also that we do provide a great service. We try and make ourselves a value add to your business. We don't try and make it harder for yourself, because obviously if it is becoming too hard, then that's when clients like to look elsewhere. So I'll pass over to Darren now, who will now conclude the presentation.
Excellent, thanks, Andrew. I guess one of the most important things about an insurance broker also is that legally we are bound to you as our client. Unlike insurers, where they are legally bound to themselves, obviously, we are legally bound to act in your best interest at all times. I guess there's some tips, for small business owners. Include insurance in your budget. It is what is perceived sometimes as a necessary evil. However, if you're going to spend money, make sure you get it right. You can call us for a price. We can give you a quick rundown on how much each policy would cost so that you can put it in your budget. It's also payable monthly to help with cash flow reasons. Buying insurance online can be a very risky business. It is out there, it is cheap, but you're not getting any advice from a professional. The people that sell the insurance online don't give you any advice, and it's clearly disclosed in that way. And that's what we do. Disclose everything. Don't be afraid to tell your broker all the details about you and your business. As Andrew said before, the more information that we know, that will be passed on to the insurers. It's our job to put it into a presentable risk format to get the insurers to quote your business. Don't skimp on dollars. Sometimes by trying to have $50,000 fire cover instead of $100,000 fire cover, it is not worth the small amount of savings that you could possibly have, obviously dependent upon what sort of business you're in. You've got to have the right insurance cover at all times. If you don't, your dreams and what you think you're trying to build could be all shattered and brought down to crashing back to earth extremely fast. Knowing your risks is the first step to good risk management and understanding your exposure. Milne Alexander offer to all potential clients an industry risk review, and whereby we're able to look up your industry, obtain the various risks that go with each class of insurance, and discuss those with you prior to even getting any information. In conclusion, risk management is very important to every business. A good risk management plan with appropriate risk management strategies can minimise costly and stressful problems, and may also reduce insurance claims, hence your premiums. If you have too many claims, no one's going to insure you. Be very wary. Firstly, you need to identify what risk your business has and what can be reduced by way of insurance. And this is where our industry risk review can be structured around insurance policies based on information we have about each industry and each type of business. Our brokers use this information to understand the needs of each industry and what to look out for when providing our advice. We thought we would share. We'll provide you with a snapshot of how the insurance industry will view your risks by type, of course on a holistic approach. Thank you very much for listening, and I now pass over back to Peter to conclude the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren and Andrew. I'll just take the screen back. So if you are interested in having a further look at the services that Milne Alexander can supply to you, that's what you do, and you go to esssmallbusiness.com.au, click on Business Partners, and click on Milne Alexander. And to show you how that can be done, I'm just going to bring up the ESS Small Business site, the website. So we've gone onto it. If you go on to Business Partners, and we'll find Milne Alexander. We just click on the link. And this is the landing page for Milne Alexander on ESS Small Business. It points out all the details, gives you a direct link to their website and a telephone number. So that's all you've got to do to get access to Milne Alexander. So thank you very much, Darren and Andrew, for your presentation today. We've done that. The upcoming webinars, next Monday, the 2nd of November, we've got two, one at 11 a.m. Or 12 noon New South Wales Daylight Saving Time, another one at 3 o'clock on strategies for SMEs, marketing strategies, at 3 p.m. Standard Time and 4 p.m. Daylight Time. And on Tuesday, the 10th of November, Getting Social Media Working at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time by Tracy Ratteri from Townsville Social Media Marketing. And if you want to view any past webinars of the business partners within ESS Small Business, please go to the website and click on to webinars and then click on to past webinars, and you'll be able to view a whole range of webinars that have been presented by people who are presenting products and services in conjunction with ESS Small Business. Just remember that on the ESS Small Business website, there are free articles on over 30 different subjects, and we're adding to that every week. And there are paid articles or links to business partners' sites who will offer you specific services. So thank you very much for participating in this webinar today, Darren and Andrew.
Thank you very much. No problems. Happy to do it.
Okay, and for everyone that's viewed this webinar, don't forget, if you've got any problems or questions, please contact us. And on insurance, obviously contact Darren and Andrew, and they will sort your insurance problems out for you. Thank you. Until we talk again, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Bye.